Hey, what's up, everybody? I am headed to work, and I am going to have to take the long way around. There, apparently, someone has ran into a pedestrian up here on my normal route, so I am unable to go to work the way that I normally go to work, and I'm gonna have to go around, which is probably gonna add about 3 minutes to my commute. I'm okay with that. I hate that somebody was injured. I'm possibly deceased. I don't know how bad the accident is, but hopefully, it's not too bad. So just prayers to the pedestrian that was struck, that they survived. So last night I did my Beyond Burger Beyond Burger version of the P.F. Chang's lettuce wraps, and the recipe came out really good. I was rushing, and y'all pardon me if I'm saying a lot, because in the morning my brain is not really on. But the recipe, I didn't do an extensive taste test because my husband was waiting on me to watch Stranger Things. So thanks to Lily Singh, he and I are now thoroughly engrossed in Stranger Things. And so we watched, come on, man. We watched all of this first season. We concluded the first season last night. So I was talking to one of my coworkers yesterday, and I was telling her how I started watching Stranger Things with my husband, and I didn't even get a chance to say what the show was before she was like, "Oh, Stranger Things." I was like, "Yeah," and I said it tripped me out because it put me in the mindset of Goonies when I first, saw when the show came on and he was watching it, and I didn't know what he was watching. And then he told me Stranger Things, and I was like, oh my God, no, please stop, because I wanted to watch the show. But you know how you tell yourself you want to binge watch, whatever, things on the weekends or whenever you have free time, and then you're sitting there in front of the television, excuse me, you're sitting there in front of the television ready to watch, but you can't remember the name of the show. So that's how it's been for me, because when I have downtime and I want to watch television, I'm struggling with what the heck to watch. But in my mind, I have all these things I want to watch, and it's just so funny. But yeah, so we wound up watching all of season 1, and so now I'm kind of giving the television back to him. And I think probably what I'm going to do is, because I have a piece of corkboard on my wall, and I'm supposed to be decorating it for me to be able to make note of different things that I want to keep up with, that I kind of need right in my face. And I think I'm probably going to put up something to write down all of my television shows that I want to watch, because the funny thing is, I tried watching Insecure on 3 separate occasions, and I could never get past like the first 10 minutes of the show. And there's a part in the show where she's saying, we got y'all, she just, y'all got any questions or whatever. And I was sitting there thinking, God, this looks so stupid. What is this? So I forced myself to watch the first episode, and then I wind up watching the remainder of the season. And so now season 2 is back on, and I haven't made time to watch it. And for me, you know, I guess I got kind of spoiled because instead of watching shows when everybody else watch shows, now Scandal is probably the only thing that I have to watch live. But instead of watching shows when everybody else is watching shows, I like to, I don't like people to talk to me about what's going on and everything, but I like to watch shows after they've been on for a few episodes, and then that way, you know, I can watch a few episodes at a time instead of, why is this person slowing down? Okay, I'm gonna need you to slow down because I'm trying to get over. But so I like to watch a few episodes at a time, especially, you know, on the off chance that the episode is, well, the season is starting off really good and they're gonna have cliffhangers and things like that. So that would drive me nuts. That's why Scandal will run your blood pressure up, because you'll watch a show and it's like, I gotta wait till next week, you know. So unless, because I did do that one time with Scandal when I was in school, I believe it was. I had papers and things like that I had to write and was unable to really watch television, and then by the time the weekend came, I had so many things that I needed to do. There were a few weeks that I didn't get a chance to watch Scandal, and people around me was talking, and I would just, you know, avoid conversation and things like that. Or if I heard little snippets of whatever, I just made sure that I didn't, you know, pay too close attention to, like, you know, what episode it was and things like that, so I wouldn't be anticipating. But yeah, so that's what I do. And so now I'm gonna have to start making a list of my shows and putting them on the wall so that I can keep up with what shows I actually want to watch. And there's another show I cannot remember, and I hate that. And if I'm not mistaken, I think, because somebody was telling me about it, I think they're already like in season 3 or season 4 or something like that. So that'll be a good opportunity to check out a show and just, you know, be able to watch it. That's how I got started watching The Walking Dead, because my kids were watching The Walking Dead, and I was like, what is that? You know, and so I think by the time I found out my kids were watching The Walking Dead, they had company, and everybody was in the living room watching TV, and they was all, I mean, they were concentrating so hard on the television, you could hear a pin drop. And so I just came in and started kind of looking at what they were looking at, and I'm like, what in the world is they watching? So I started watching it, and then another separate incident like that happened, but it was just my children, and my husband caught, you know, a little bit of what they were watching. And then the third time it happened, he and I both were sitting there talking to the kids, and they were watching it, and then they started talking about it, and I was like, well, what exactly is that? And then my son just went into this whole tangent about The Walking Dead and what it was and where it came from. And he and my husband started this conversation. Me and my daughter sitting there looking, because when they get to talking about stuff, you know, comic books and cars and superheroes and all that kind of stuff, it's funny. I just sit there and just watch, because they get so involved. But anyway, that's how we got started watching The Walking Dead. And so no, it was season 4. Was it season 4? It was a few seasons in, and me and my husband, we were home, and I didn't have anything going on, and he didn't have anything going on, and he goes, he was watching television, and I came in there, and he was like, did you have anything you want to watch? And I was like, hey, that show the kids is watching seemed pretty good. You want to, you know, check it out? He was like, oh yeah, I've been meaning to start watching it. Oh my goodness. We started with season 1, episode 1, and what wound up happening was we were binge watching that show to the point where we was up to 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and we was having to go to work, and we both tired, but we didn't want to turn the TV off. And it was like, oh, you know, and then the fact that he was familiar with the characters. I wasn't familiar with any of the characters, but the show was just that good to me. So with him being familiar with the characters, made it even more interesting for him. So yeah, we wind up binge watching The Walking Dead. So by the time the season, the current season started, we were I'm trying to remember if we actually got caught up, because I can't remember if we got caught up or not, but at some point we got caught up, and so just started looking forward to watching The Walking Dead. So the season that started when Negan, whatever the hell his name is, he made me mad. The season that started when he killed Glenn and Abraham. Oh my goodness. I told my husband, I said, let me tell you something. I said, I am not gonna be watching this show, and this is the kind of stuff that's happening. I said that I had a bad dream. I was horrified, because it was heartbreaking that he killed Abraham and I just said his name. It was heartbreaking that he killed them, but the fact that it was so gory and graphic and visually, oh my God, it was horrible. It was god awful. I told my husband, I said, I am not watching this show. And I told my son, I said, after, because I asked him had he seen it yet, and he, at some point my kids had fell off watching it. We were telling them stuff that was going on, and they was trying to play catch up with the seasons and stuff. And so when that happened, my son, is a lot of things that we were telling him that was going on in the movie that he was like, oh, he already knew, because that's what happened in the comic book. So when I told him what happened with Glenn and Abraham, and I was so upset, he was just looking at me, and I was like, Anthony, I said, if this is how the season is gonna be, I can't watch this show. I can't watch this show with people's brains and stuff all over. I can't do that. And so he was laughing, and my husband was laughing, and everybody was laughing at me and everything. And I was like, you know what? I don't care how y'all, you know, y'all can tease me and everything if you want to, but that was too much. I said I can see myself being one of those parents protesting because they went too far. I said, because that was just too much. And so I agreed. I told my husband that I would watch the next episode with him and then make a decision. So I wound up watching the rest of the season and everything, but it was I was almost traumatized, because I was like, what is this? Oh my goodness, it was awful. It was awful. But The Walking Dead, y'all almost lost me. Y'all almost lost me. Y'all almost lost me, because I was not happy. I was like,